There comes a moment in life, both painful and liberating, when the veil of illusion falls away and the truth is finally revealed. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're not simply in love. You're existing inside a distorted reality, where emotions are manipulated, memories reshaped, and your very sense of self slowly erased. They don't love you, they control you through the illusion of love, through calculated lies and perfectly crafted performances. But then one day, light pierces through the darkness. Not because you were strong enough, but because a higher power, God, saw your silent suffering and chose to unveil the truth. In that moment, you don't just know, you awaken. And from that awakening, the journey back to your true self finally begins. If you long to understand the insidious manipulation of the narcissist and how to break free, subscribe to our channel today. Your engagement is more than a simple click. It's the first step toward breaking the chains and reclaiming the light within you. The truth revealed, the beginning of freedom. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you are not merely part of a love story. You are the prey, trapped in an illusion meticulously crafted through psychological manipulation and calculated deception. A narcissist is not a person who loves you. They are a twisted architect, building a false reality to serve their distorted need for control and superiority. With gaslighting, they make you question your memory, your perception, even your own worth, turning you into someone who depends on their distorted affirmations. Through love bombing, they overwhelm you with false affection, creating an emotional whirlwind that gets you addicted to their attention, only to manipulate you further through coldness and criticism. And when you try to break free, they use hoovering, luring you back with empty promises or fake remorse to keep you ensnared in their invisible trap. This is not love. It is a psychological war designed to erase your sense of self, reducing you to a shadow that exists only to serve their inflated ego. Uncovering the truth is not just a psychological shock. It is a spiritual battle where confusion is wielded like a weapon and control is the ultimate goal. In this war, the narcissist does not let go easily. They will project their faults onto you, blame you for the damage they cause, and even play the victim to maintain power. But God, who sees all, does not allow you to remain imprisoned in the darkness of lies forever. He exposes the deception, not with punishment, but with a powerful grace that liberates, pulling you out of the maze of manipulation and guiding you back to the light of truth. This process is painful because it forces you to confront the reality that what you believed was love was nothing more than a carefully scripted illusion. But that very pain becomes a refining fire, burning away the chains of control so you can begin your journey toward freedom. The revelation of truth is God's way of setting you free. The narcissist spent a long time manipulating your mind, creating a world where truth was twisted, and you, the victim, became a puppet in their hands. They didn't love you, they controlled you. From gaslighting, making you question your own memory and perception, to love bombing, flooding you with false affection only to withdraw it later, every tactic was part of their arsenal, crafted to keep you unstable and dependent. When the truth starts to break through, whether through a slip of the tongue or an action that reveals their true nature, you are forced to face the lies that once formed the foundation of your life. But don't be mistaken. Shedding the illusion is not a gentle step. It demands that you unravel every false belief the narcissist planted in your mind, every fake compliment, every hollow promise, every time you convinced yourself they would change. Each is an invisible chain holding you in the cycle of their control. The process is like surgery without anesthesia, painful, brutal, but necessary. You must face the fact that you were deceived, that the love you cherished was merely a tool to serve their damaged ego. This is long-term trauma where self-esteem is eroded and you may fall into learned helplessness, the belief that escape is impossible. Every illusion stripped away is a cut to the heart of what you thought was real, forcing you to redefine not just the relationship, but your very self. Yet don't mistake this for punishment. This is deep healing from God. Grace hidden in pain. In the darkness of manipulation, He is the one who sees it all. And the revealing of truth is His way of breaking the invisible chains. The pain you feel is not the end. It is the fire that refines, burning away the falsehood to make way for rebirth. Prepare for the narcissist's love attacks. They will try to suck you back in with seemingly sincere apologies, flowery promises of change, pitiful victim narratives, even using religion to manipulate your conscience. But don't be fooled. This is not love, not remorse. It's a calculated strategy to regain lost control. In psychology, this is called hoovering, a term that describes the narcissist's attempt to pull you back after you've tried to escape their toxic cycle. The motivation behind it is not care or true emotion. It is a desperate need to reestablish dominance and feed their fragile ego. If you're not grounded, the cycle won't just repeat, it will worsen, dragging you deeper into self-doubt and long-lasting psychological damage. Imagine the narcissist as a hunter, and you are the prey they cannot afford to lose. When you leave, they don't mourn love lost, they mourn the loss of their narcissistic supply, your attention, admiration, and affirmation, which they need to survive. Hoovering is the trap they set to pull you back in. They may cry and beg, promise to start over, but their words are hollow. They'll play the victim, say they can't live without you, or claim you abandoned them when they needed you most, all to trigger guilt. Worse, they may manipulate religion, a form of spiritual abuse, saying things like God wants you to forgive or leaving is a sin. This isn't repentance, it's weaponized manipulation crafted to make you doubt your decision. If you give in return, don't expect a happy ending. The narcissist will see your return as victory, proof that they still have power over you. The cycle of abuse will begin again, only more intense. They may gaslight you, making you question your reality, or love bomb you, shower you with fake affection only to devalue you soon after. Each time you go back, the trauma bond deepens, a toxic attachment where fear and dependency coexist. Worse still, you may fall back into learned helplessness, believing that you are trapped and powerless, and boundaries. First, recognize the signs of hoovering. Any contact from the narcissist after you leave is manipulation, not love. Don't let sweet words or crocodile tears sway you. Second, set boundaries. No contact is best, but if that's not possible, maintain emotional distance and refuse all heart-to-heart conversations. Third, seek support from friends, family, or professionals trained in narcissistic abuse. They will be your shield against the emotional attacks to come. God's intervention, a divine wall of protection. God doesn't just lead you out of the narcissist's grip. He also prevents you from going back by placing firm, closed doors in your path. Invisible yet powerful barriers of divine protection. This is not punishment, it is sacred grace, designed to shield you from the relentless cycles of manipulation and the psychological wounds that never truly heal. The narcissists, with their twisted nature, will not stop trying to pull you back through hoovering, a deceitful psychological tactic aimed at regaining control and reclaiming the attention they crave. They may use false apologies, empty promises of change, or even weaponize your faith to manipulate your conscience. But every time you feel tempted to return, God's closed doors ensure their efforts fail. These divine blockades are spiritual walls keeping you from falling back into the abyss of self-destruction and endless emotional abuse. These closed doors are not merely physical boundaries. They may come in the form of a new job that pulls you away from the toxic environment, a friend who urges you to leave, or simply a gut feeling that says, I can't go back. In psychological terms, this is known as cognitive dissonance, the tension between wanting to believe the illusion and facing the harsh truth. But through the lens of the spirit, this is the hand of God intervening, knowing that if you return, you'll be caught again in a trauma bond, a toxic attachment where fear and dependence bind you to your abuser. Every time you try to reopen that door and it slams shut, don't see it as rejection, see it as God protecting you from your own vulnerability. The narcissist does not change, they simply refine their tactics. Going back doesn't mean meeting a better version of them. It means facing a more skillful manipulator, now even more adept at disguising their true nature under a polished facade. This is the idealization devaluation cycle, where you are lifted up only to be cruelly torn down. If you step through that door again, you risk falling into learned helplessness, in a state where you give up hope of escape and submit to being controlled. God's intervention through these closed doors is the antidote to this cycle, forcing you to see that there is no future with a narcissist except the destruction of your soul. To fully receive this protection, you must act. First, identify the closed doors in your life, the failures or lost opportunities that once broke your heart, but were actually your way out. Second, set firm boundaries. Go no contact. Block their number. Avoid the places where they may appear. Third, seek support from your community, trusted friends, family, or support groups for victims of narcissistic abuse, people who can be your shield. Finally, rebuild your self-worth, not through the lies the narcissist told you, but by rediscovering your intrinsic value and identity. You are not a victim of fate. You are protected by a higher power. Trust in the closed doors God has placed before you, and instead of trying to pry them open, walk boldly through the new doors of healing and freedom. Turn to trauma-informed therapy to erase the invisible scars and begin building a life where you are the author, not a puppet. True freedom isn't found in forgiving the narcissist. It's in forgiving yourself for ever believing them and choosing to walk the path of light God has prepared just for you. 5, reclaiming yourself, the battle for your identity. A narcissist isn't merely someone who passes through your life leaving wounds behind. They are the architect of a fabricated world where you are turned into a puppet in their play. Through cunning manipulation, they didn't just control your actions, they shaped how you saw yourself, weak, dependent, and never good enough without them. They planted seeds of doubt in your mind, making you believe your worth only existed through their validation. But when you leave, not just walking away from a person, you're breaking free from a toxic belief system that had taken root deep within your soul. Healing after a relationship with a narcissist is not a gentle or linear journey. It's an intense inner battle where you must face the shattered pieces of yourself, pieces that were distorted and buried beneath the mask they forced you to wear. You might feel as if your identity has been wiped clean. That's not unusual. The narcissist convinced you that you couldn't stand on your own, that every decision required their approval. They made you doubt your own judgment, turning you into a stranger to yourself. But here's the stark truth. You don't need them to survive. Your worth does not lie in the hands of someone who tried to break you to serve their inflated ego. Rebuilding yourself begins the moment you realize you have the right to live as your true self, not the version they molded. Ask yourself, who am I really? Not the worthless person they said you were, not someone who must sacrifice everything just to be loved, but a real human being with dreams, flaws, and a unique inner strength. This journey will hurt. You will face the pain of betrayal, not just from them, but from yourself when you realize how far you lost your way trying to please someone who was never satisfied. But this pain is not your enemy. It is the purifying fire, burning away the false layers to reveal your authentic core. Don't fear it. Every tear, every surge of anger is proof that you're alive, that you're fighting to come back to yourself. You are not alone. Thousands have walked through this hell and found the light. Every small step you take, whether it's learning to trust yourself again or rejecting the negative voice in your head, is a victory. This rebirth is not just healing, it's the rediscovery of a more powerful version of you. Someone who loves themselves, not for perfection, but because you are worthy. Be patient. True freedom awaits you at the end of this path. Not as a gift from anyone else, but as a reward you give yourself.